Record here. Welcome, welcome, welcome to day 3 of the Get Your First Mastermind Client with yours truly, Brad Hart. What's happening? Alex, Barry, Ben, Bilal, Blake, David, Jason, Joel, Matthew, and Sue. Got Micah here as always helping me out on the back end. Thank you, Micah. And it's just been so great to have you guys. We're about halfway through the challenge right now, and you are here rocking it. I'm so grateful and excited to be here serving you again. And let's get into it today. I got a few housekeeping items, and then we'll dive right in. So let me share my screen and get you guys rocking here. So let's go to present day 3. And Mike, are we good on screen? Okay, great. Awesome. So day 3 is all about your irresistible offer. And we're going to work through the workbook and get you your irresistible offer created. Couple of quick housekeeping items before we start. If you're watching the video, if you're on replay, hashtag replay. If you are watching live, hashtag live on the comments. And then finally, make sure you turn on notifications so you're notified when we do go live, when I make announcements, those types of things, to make sure you're not missing any content. So yesterday, we had a lot of people confused about day 2. So I actually posted the hour-long Q&A session from the VIP group, just to give you a sense of like, okay, these are the questions that people are asking. And I recognized that I made a slight omission, and this might help clarify for some people who are doing their benefit statement. Make sure it's as specific as possible. So instead of just like I help somebody do X, I help somebody get this particular result specifically is really helpful. And make sure it's really what they want. You know, when you think about like, what do people want in a wealth context? They want to make more money. Well, how much more money and how much time, right? What are the factors that they're considering? How many pounds do I want to lose? What kind of relationship do I want to be in? Those are the factors that they really are going to care about. And when they hear their benefit statement that speaks to them and their needs and their problems, they're going to raise their hand. So just a couple quick things. Go back and watch the Q&A if you're not sure or clear on your benefit statement, because that's important going forward. We're going to use that as kind of a shot across the bow to get people enrolled. And remember, you end with, would that be of value to you or not? And that allows people to raise their hand or not. So you're not wasting time. And this is a huge skill, whether you're in person, whether you're online. This is very helpful. And then finally, I want to make sure that your accountability buddies are getting what they need as well. I saw all of you go through and be, a lot of people are commenting on each other's benefit statements. I'm super grateful, giving each other feedback, helping those getting tighter and tighter. When in doubt, when you have a lot of things, make sure they're short and to the point, and pick the problem or pick the benefit or pick the desire that people seem to resonate with most. We're going to be doing some more market research type stuff tomorrow, so we'll get clearer and clearer on that. So don't stress too much right now if it's not perfect. Just get it as good as you can, get it down to its essence, and make it as tight as possible. And you can even practice saying it in the mirror. That's what I used to do, and testing it out on people. Hey, what do you think of this? Does this sound clear? Does this sound enrolling? And does this sound exciting to you? Ideally, people that would have that problem. And then finally, I want to give some shout outs from the group, because you guys are just doing freaking awesome. I was just looking through some of these in here. A shout out to Willie. I hope I'm saying that right. She's just been incredible, posting every day, great comments. She's already got clients banging down her door. And I was like, this is so awesome. What do I do? How's this supposed to work? It's too soon. Listen, I'm sorry the training is working too well for you. Sorry, not sorry. But no, this is great. People are already getting people excited to work with them and interested. I just want to give a shout out to Lauren. Lauren's a member of the BAM family who's doing the challenge also. Kevin, Barry from Ireland, Sue, all the folks on the VIP, just people who are doing the work and showing up and making it work every single day. I'm just so grateful, guys. Blake is another one. And all the many others. I don't have time to shout everybody out, but I know that I see you. I'm trying to read every one of your comments. There's quite a lot here. We're blowing this Facebook group out of the water. It's really exciting. And let's get into the content so we can get into day 3. I'm just really stoked about what you guys are up to. Okay, so presenting day 3, your irresistible offer from Brad Hart at Build a Mastermind and Make More Marbles. All right. So today's outcome is to show me what you got. This is where the rubber really meets the road. So we came up with your benefit statement, which is kind of like the teaser, and then we're going to really flesh out your offer today. It's going to be called a hypothetical offer document, or HOD. And this is what we're going to create is also your post swipe copy. And we're going to give that to you essentially, which you can add to, you can tweak. But I think really it's just about like copy. The whole point of copy is to get an outcome, which is to have somebody raise their hand and take the next action. So I wouldn't focus too much on making it perfect. I wouldn't focus too much on making it long or detailed. I would just focus on what's the minimum effective dose to get the result you're looking for. And in this case, it's just to get on a phone call with somebody for 15 minutes, all right, to have a market research call. So it doesn't have to be this long, drawn out thing. It could be very simple. I'll give you an example of that at the end. So let's get started with this. So again, welcome. You're halfway through. We're getting some really serious work done. We're getting clearer and clearer every day. And congrats on what I believe is most important is not giving up, right? You could have came day one and kind of limped in and said, oh, this is cool, but I'm not really going to do it. Or you could go and play full out, which a lot of you are doing. I'm not saying everybody's doing it, but this is my call to those people who, if you're seeing this, if you're hearing my voice, if you're seeing me right now, why not go all in on this? There's no reason not to. There's nothing to lose by going all in and trying your very hardest so that you have a mastermind client by the end of this. And it's entirely possible. We got 3 more days of content and we're going to give you the exact steps, exactly what to say. This is not some theoretical thing that I made up. This is tried and tested and proven over many years with many different people and many different niches. And it works. It simply works when you work it. So if you do the work, you're going to get the results. And today is the day where the rubber meets the road. Today is a hunka dunka. So I kind of took it easy on you guys yesterday. I did about half the time of content and then a bunch more Q&A. And today we're going to really give you the goods and we're going to work through the workbook. And you're going to have to take some time after this to really get clear on all these pieces. And then obviously your homework is going to be to post your results at the end with a focus on action, not on perfection. We're not trying to be perfect. We're trying to get this done. We're trying to make it as good as we can with the information we have. And that's it. And then we'll get more information as time goes on. Okay. So this is a big brainstorm day. You'll need to take some time, put on some music with no lyrics, just write everything that comes to mind. You consider the prompts, get into flow. Don't judge anything. Don't try to fix or tweak anything until the very end when you're completely wrung out. I want you to just get it all out of your head and onto paper. This should be, half a page to 2 pages, somewhere in that range, but no more than 2 pages. If you're writing more than 2 pages, and that's like a Google Doc format, not legal, 8 by 11, 1 point type. This should be plenty, right? Maybe that's 1,000 words tops. And that's going to be a pretty complex offer. You don't really need to make it that complex. I would say if you can get this to a page, page and a half, you're in good shape. And you got this. I believe in you. I know you can do this because guess what? You've overcome every single thing that's ever happened to you in your life, and you're alive and you're watching me and you're hearing me and you're here. And today's a great day. It's beautiful and the sun is shining and the time zones let me sleep in a little bit. It's just all great. So I'm loving it. All right, let's get into it. So here's where offers go wrong. Let's start with first the things that people do wrong, and then we can show you what to do right. Because these are the 3 things that are really going to jack you up if you don't if you don't get them out of the way in the first place. So 3 main problems with offers. And your offer, by the way, I just want to reiterate, your offer is like 90% of the work. That's why we're focusing an entire day on your offer. And really the whole challenge is about getting your offer right so that somebody says yes, somebody raises their hand and you get your first mastermind client by the end of this week, because that's the most important thing. Whether you've done it 100 times, or you've done it never. Like I've probably put out 100 offers over the course of my career. And every single time I do it this way that I'm teaching you right now, it works. Every time I try to wing it or, stumble into it or hope for the best or whatever, I miss something that's crucial and I lose money. So I don't want you to do that. So here's the main 3 problems with offers that I'll just tell you what they are right now. You do too many things. You got to focus on the top 1 to 3 main problems of your niche. And you can keep more items that you can help with in your back pocket because a lot of people have a lot of things they're good at and they have a lot of different experts they could tap into. They have big networks. They're really powerful creators and connectors. But really, people care about the 1 or 2 or 3 things that are actually going on for them right now. And it's usually one big thing. It's like one main problem and a couple of sub problems, right? So an example of a main problem in a business owner context, that's the one I'm most familiar with and comfortable with. That's the niche I operate in most often is I'm not making enough sales, or I'm not generating enough leads, or I don't have enough money, or I have plenty of both. I have leads and sales, but I don't have the systems to deal with all this and I'm overwhelmed. Or I want to sell my company, right? These are big problems that you can solve with a mastermind, right? Maybe I want to join a group of investors and I want to learn what stocks to invest in, or I want to learn what kind of real estate deals to do. So these are specific, clear, top, sub-market problems. So they're part of a market and you have like the sub-market, and then you can niche down even more into these. It's like, okay, well, I want to generate ads through Facebook. I want to generate ads leads through Instagram, or I want to generate leads through LinkedIn, or I want to generate leads through whatever, or I want to sell high ticket, or I want to sell low ticket, or I want to sell e-commerce, or I want to sell whatever, right? So we want to get this as specific as possible. What's the main problem they're having? What are they unable to do that they want to? What goal are they trying to hit that they feel like they can't hit with the current capabilities and knowledge they have? And what can you help them do? So that's the one thing. And there should be no more than 3. Okay? Got it. And be clear, because a confused prospect does not buy. So you got to be clear on what will it do and what will it give them. This is the what, right? Your offer, this is number 2. This is the second big main problem with offers. It's for too many people. Who is this for? Who is the perfect person that if they raise their hand, you're like, that's my person? And there can be multiple niches, right? Like I work with coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, leaders, authors, speakers, experts, theoretically, but really it's mostly coaches and consultants. Like that's the people who I want to work with most because they have the biggest problem that a mastermind can solve, which is I don't have enough time. I'm on the feast and famine roller coaster. It's ups and downs of my business. And I want to get off of that. I want to start a mastermind so I have leverage and I can finally make the income I want to make without spending all my time on it. Cool. That's great. I can solve that problem, right? So for you, what is that? Who is this for exactly? And when is it appropriate for them? Is it when they're first starting out? Is it before they made a sale? Is it when they have 100 clients? Is it when they have 50 clients? Is it when they are running a $100,000 business, $1 million business, a $10 million business? When is your offer appropriate? So if it's for too many people, it's for nobody. We got to make it clear. So what is it? What does it do? What problem, what big, hairy, scary problem does it solve that they're willing to pay money to solve? And who is it for exactly and when? All right. And obviously in health and wealth and relationships, you'll have different types of offers for different types of people. I don't really operate in the health and relationships niches. So that's a little bit more difficult for me to just do off the cuff. I know this wealth niche like back and forth. I've seen every offer under the sun. But an example of such like a health offer could be like, I want to lose X number of pounds in X time without having to diet, without having to exercise, whatever it is, right? That's like a pretty kitschy offer, but something along those lines. Like what do they want without what they don't want, right? That's the offers that people raise their hands for. That's human nature, right? People want to get the result easily without having to do a lot of work or without having to give up something that they truly love. So there's that. And with the relationship piece, it could be, okay, find your lover, find your spouse, find your whatever without having to use dating apps or without having to worry about going out during COVID or whatever the offer that they are looking for now. And that might take a little research to get exactly right, but there's tons of great offers out there that you can research and look at and say, okay, what are people already buying so that I can mirror these? So start to think like, what are people already out there buying? And maybe I could make that into a mastermind. And typically great things to look at are what are people paying for consulting in? What are people paying for coaching in? What are people buying books by the dozens on to solve these particular problems? And maybe a mastermind could be a good component to offer. Okay. And finally, I've harped on this. I'm going to harp on it again is just needing to be perfect before you go forward with selling it. It does not need to be perfect. It does not need to be polished. It does not need to be built. It does not need to be, maybe it could be outlined, but it doesn't need to be anything more than a couple of pages of work, which we're going to do today to now go sell. That's it. I promise. That's the big secret here. You don't have to have a big infrastructure and a lot of fancy slides and a whole team and, countless experience. You just need an offer and you need to make it to the person who wants it. And if they say yes, and enough people say yes, you build it. But all we're looking for is one right now. We're just looking for one to show you it's possible. We're looking for one to prove this theory. We're looking for one to say, yes, I would like this. I'm interested in this, and put down some money and say, yes, I'm ready. Go build it. Awesome. And now we can figure out what's next. That's all we're looking for right now. Don't make this overcomplicated. You just need one person in your niche to hear your offer and say, yes, I want that. How do I sign up? Yay. I just heard a yay in the background. Okay, cool. Today we're gonna craft your hypothetical beta launch mastermind offer. And if you're not familiar with that, a beta launch is when you sell something before you build it. You may have seen these, even if you're not sure what this is. This might be new terminology to you, but you've seen this before. So all this means is you fill the spots before you ever host your first mastermind meeting. And it's like you sell the prototype on Kickstarter before you mass produce it, right? And you're not going to just go and spend $200,000 building a product that may or may not work. I'll tell a quick story. I met a guy, I was out in Eagle, Idaho, which is near Boise, and I got to do this really cool stunt flying where the guy takes you up in his stunt plane and he allows you to, like take it over and do barrel rolls and all this crazy stuff. So I'm flying over this crazy thing and I throw up and like we pull like 4 or 5 G's and whatever it was, I don't know, some crazy thing. And when we get back to the ground, we go out and have lunch with this guy. I was like still getting my bearings, but he starts asking me about business advice. And it turns out he has this product that spreads ashes from the plane. Okay. And it basically, it's like, in his mind, like it's solving a problem. But I was very quickly, I'm like, well, whose problem does it solve? Like who's having a problem with spreading ashes? Like you take the urn, you go and you dump it off a cliff, or you put it in the ocean or wherever you want, or you keep it on your mantelpiece. Like whose problem is this? He's like, oh yeah, I put $500,000 into this. I had a whole prototype created and I have a whole house full of these things. I'm like, how many you sold? He's like, 0. I'm like, wait a second, you put $500,000 into a business you hadn't tested? It's like, yeah. I'm like, why? He's like, because I just think it's really a cool thing to be able to release ashes on, or out of your plane. I'm like, dude, like I didn't have the heart to tell him, but like, you're screwed. Like that $500,000, you're never going to see it again. And apparently he had like doubled down again. And this is not what I want for you. I don't want you to go into a place where you're so committed to an idea that you're not 100% sure that people want, meaning they gave you money for it already. That's the whole thing. If you can get people to say yes and then give you money, you have a good idea. And if you don't have that happening for some reason, you have to tweak what you're doing or go on to your next best idea, because that's part of entrepreneurship. It's okay to fail here. This is not school where you get a B minus. It's the end of the world. Like it's great to fail, and you want to fail quickly so you can get to something that works, because when it does work, it goes crazy. So let me share the other side of the story. My friend and mentor has an offer right now in the sales niche where he was an incredible salesperson. He made like $4 million selling as a sales rep in 18 months. And then he became a coach for salespeople. I hired him last year to train me when he had his first offer, which was like a program to teach individuals. And right around that time, when I was finishing up that program as a beta member, because I bought it as a beta and he gave me a good deal on it, he found out that people were willing to hire him for a lot more money to help them solve a bigger problem that they had, which was instituting their sales teams. So now, this is a year ago, by the way. Now, this year, I just had lunch with him in Scottsdale. We chatted about the current state of his business. He's making $500,000 a month with that offer. The first offer was fine. He could have done that and done fine and make, 50, 100 grand a month and been super happy and had plenty of money. This offer is destroying it. He's making $18,000 to $24,000 per client, and he's like sold out. He's turning people away. So having the right offer in place, that's so important. And don't accept mediocrity. Don't accept like anybody's willing to throw money at you for anything. Find the one that really nails it. And in the meantime, you might have an okay offer, which is totally fine to pay the bills and just get some reps under your belt. But look for that, oh my God, holy crap, this is the one, blowing off the shelves, can't keep it in stock. That's the one you want. So keep looking for that and don't settle. So here's the key point here is you got to get people to buy it before you create it. Because if you create it before you sell it, you might end up with some problems. So I'll share one more story, which is my own personal story of my very first course that I created. And this was now more than 10 years ago, because the domain I bought 10 years in advance, I paid for 10 years of it, just expired this year. So I had that constant reminder that I'd failed miserably at this. So I want to tell you this quick story and then we'll keep moving here. And just to really underscore how important this is. So I was in real estate in New York City. And when you go and rent an apartment in New York City, you pay the broker. The landlord doesn't pay the broker. You pay the broker as the tenant. So you pay the broker up to 2 months rent to find you an apartment. So they perform a service for the landlord, which is filling their apartments, but the tenant actually pays for that. And that's just been how New York is for such a long time, because there's a lot of different factors. I won't go into all the different pieces, but there's so much competition. And there's so few landlords that control so much property in the rental market. And they basically dictate their own terms, right? It's a buyer's market or a seller's market. So I came along and I was like, well, what if I made a course that taught people how the system works and helped them get an apartment on their own? And I thought that was a brilliant idea. So I went and I built it. And I was going to price it at $200, and I bought the website and I had it coded and I did all these things. We did the whole course and made it great and like put all the connections and details together. And we went and we tested a little bit like on Craigslist to see if people would go for it. We had like 10,000 people sign up for an interesting, little giveaway or just look at the ad or whatever. I forget exactly, but we validated it to some extent, but we didn't completely validate it. And you can see where this is going. Within 6 months now, I'd been working on this thing. I'd put in like $45,000 into this program, and it didn't work because I couldn't promote it. I couldn't advertise it. So there were really only two games in town at that time. So this is 10 years ago. We didn't have Facebook ads. That wasn't really a thing yet. We had Google and we had Craigslist. Those are the two places I knew I could reach people at scale. And Craigslist shut down our ads every single time because they were making more money from the realtor selling ads than they were ever for my product. And I wasn't able to advertise for the same eyeballs. Like literally, I flew there, a box of donuts outside their offices, tried to convince them. They sent, an intern. They wouldn't even talk to me. They sent an intern down to say, get off our property. We're going to call the police. Legit. Like wouldn't allow me to even conversationally, entertain this idea of maybe I want to give you $10,000+ a month in advertising spend, whatever. So that didn't work. And then Google, they're making $8, $15 a click from New York City real estate leads, right? They're going to Corcoran, they're going to Prudential, they're going to big firms that pay a lot of money because they're going to get massive returns from those leads. And if I'm selling a course for $200, there's no way I can pay $8 a click to get eyeballs on that. That's just crazy. So it was a flop and I lost 45 grand and I had to shutter the thing and finally find my nycapartment.com went away last year. And that's always been a reminder to me is like, hey, test it before you build it and sell it before you build it so that you know that you have less risk because you have money in your pocket and you have demand that people really want it. Because it's one thing to say, hey, I want it, but it's another thing to say, hey, where's the money? Put it down. And they're like, oh, I got to talk to my, spirit guides or whatever. And you never get the money. So that's really the key litmus test here is can you create something on paper, hypothetically, that somebody's willing to pay for with real money, and not like pulling the wool over their eyes. Like this is a hypothetical thing. This is a beta launch. This is a pilot program. They get that. And they're in. They want to put down their money because they're getting a better rate or because, it really solves a problem that they haven't been able to solve otherwise or what have you. So this is how we do that. Here you go. So let's keep moving here. So here are all the pieces of your hypothetical offer. You got your name of your offer. You got your benefit statement, your mastermind. So benefit statement, which you did yesterday. Who is this for? Who is this not for? What is the transformation that takes place? What do they get? What is the process you'll use to create this transformation? What are the possible ways you can solve it? What is the investment? How much are they going to pay? And what do they say is their pain in their own words? And what do they say they want in their own words? So this in your own words part, we're going to get from the market research. You won't know this just yet unless you've been in this niche for a while, but we want it like exactly in their tribal language. What do they say specifically and consistently that you can say, okay, this is the problem I solve, And usually one is like, it's a clue. Two is like, okay, that's starting to get good. If you hear three or more people say it, you might really have something there. So let's deconstruct each of these one by one. So first and foremost, I think this is the most important thing is getting clear on who is this for and who is this not for. So this is a set of criteria so you can filter interested parties to make sure they're qualified, make sure they're interested, make sure they're excited. That's what's really important. If you have people you're talking to, they're qualified to buy, they're interested, and they're excited about what you have to offer, that's most of what you need to make it happen, right? That's a lot of it. And then all you have to do is just ask the right questions, make sure they're associated with the problem and the pain and the solution, all these different pieces, which is more of a sales training, which we don't have time for here today. But once you have the qualified, interested, and excited person with the right offer for that person, that's like 80% of the work. The rest is just not screwing it up. Simple as that. So who is this for? Who is this not for? And who could this be for? What makes this offer perfect for them? Like I said, I have multiple people that could buy my thing and get value out of it. But I really focus on a couple of them because I know those are my perfect clients. And yeah, other types of people come to me and they want to buy, but I focus on my perfect clients because they'll still come even though I'm focused on that one niche. So when you plant your stake in the ground, when you plant your flag in the ground, you say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I help. This is who it's for. This is who it's not for. Now, all of a sudden, more people that you didn't anticipate show up and start helping. Like Chris, a great example. He's a personal trainer who wanted to build a mastermind for cops. If I had put that on paper before, there's no way I would have thought of that. But he's one of my best clients ever. So there you go. You can't make it too stringent, but you can't make it too vague either. If you set your foot in, if you set your feet firmly and you plant your flag, more people will come from all kinds of areas. But if you're like, I'm everything to everybody and I help everybody, never going to happen. got to take a stand for what you are and who you are and what you do and who's it for and who's it not to. So that's the first thing. So what is the transformation? So think about this as there's 3 ways you can look at it. And you can kind of combine these and play with these in different ways. There's before and after, right? And like, I just always think of like, I lost 50 pounds. Here's my before and after photos. Or here was my P&L before in my business, and here's my P&L after. So I'm more profitable, I make more money, or I'm even leaner, I make less revenue, but I make more profit, or whatever, right? Or finally, like, I met the love of my life and we're having a baby. Like, that would be an example of before and after. Heaven and hell is like pain and pleasure. They're kind of similar, but like, here is your perfect scenario, and here's exactly what you don't want. So we're moving you away from what you don't want, we're moving you towards what you do want. And this is just human psychology. People move away from pain and towards pleasure. So it has to be compelling enough from both angles. It's got to push away from the pain they don't want, and it's got to pull them towards the pleasurable heaven that they do want to make that transformation exciting, right? That's what we do as marketers. That's what we do as messengers. We influence people with, not because we're so influential, but we know what influences them already. We know what they want already, and we're moving them towards what they want and away from what they don't want. So you sell the sexy result here. It's everything they want without everything they do not want. Heaven if they do, hell if they don't. What do they get? Let me go back to that just so everybody has a second to grab it. So if you're still copying diligently, go for it. You could also check out the recording, but I want to make sure I stay within my hour here. We're about 26 minutes already. Okay. So what do they get? Here's again, one of the most important parts of the offer. If they're not clear on what they get, I hear people talking about all the woo-woo, and we're going to change the planet and it's going to be beautiful and we're going to save the manatees. That's great if that's what that person cares about. What do these people care about? What do they want to get out of this transaction? What do they not have now that they will have once they pay you money? Well, within that time frame or however long that mastermind is or however long that program is, right? What's the thing they're going to get from it? They're going to get more sales. They're going to get more leads. They're going to get more profit. They're going to get more revenue. They're going to get more, sales reps. They're going to get more whatever. They're going to lose weight? Are they going to gain muscle? Are they going to get their soulmate? Are they going to lose their divorce? That's ringing them around the neck. Are they going to, help their kids? What are they going to do? What are they going to get? What happens when they buy? And what's the process that you're going to use to create this transformation? Like most of sales that I've learned and most of the offer is really getting them sold on a process, because everybody wants to know what the price is because they want to shuffle it off as, hey, is this something I'm going to do or not? Before they've even heard what it is. So it doesn't pay to even talk about money until they're like clear that this is the process. It's clear this is what they need and what the cost is of not taking action and all the other pieces. If they're not clear on the process and they're not sold on that process, they're never going to buy. It doesn't matter how much it costs, $1 or $1 million. It doesn't matter. The process. And what are the possible ways you can solve it? Then we'll talk about the investment. So again, let me just go back to process just for a second. Think about a process as steps. Step 1, we do this. Usually it's get clear. Get clear with what's actually going on. We figure out the game plan, right? Hey, this is what's up. This is what's real for you. We customize the solution. It's not off the shelf every time, but that's usually step 1. Just, a little hint there. Get clear. Step 2. Okay, what's the lowest hanging fruit? What can we fix quickly and easily? And what's like the easiest things that are like, when an expert comes in, they're like, oh yeah, just, boop, 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 boop. And we're already making progress. We're already making results. Let's get some quick wins under our belt. That's usually step 2. Step 3 is like, all right, we got some quick wins. We got some momentum. Everybody's excited. Cool. Let's double down. Let's optimize. Let's maximize this thing. And then finally, like step 4 could be like, let's wrap it all together, make sure it's consistent and sustainable and the right habits are in place and the right incentives in place, the right systems, the right structures, and we can move forward together. That's usually how these work. You can make it 5 steps. You can make it 4 steps. You can make it 3 steps. I usually say 3 to 5. 10 steps is too many steps. 1 step isn't enough steps, right? Pick an amount of steps that makes sense. It's clear. It's like, okay, get your piece of paper out. We're going to show you. Here's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Great. That's basically what this challenge is. 5 steps, right? We're just doing 5 days of content. We're focusing on 1 step at a time. We're giving you a day to figure it out, to get caught up if you get behind, if life happens. I totally get it. If you had to go vote yesterday, whatever it is, we're doing this stepwise so that you can get the results, because people want paint by numbers. They want simple. Okay, moving on. That's what they get. They get a process that gets them the result, the transformation that they're looking for. What's the investment? Once they're sold on the process, most important thing, now you can discuss, like they're a 10 out of 10, they love the process, they're involved in the process, they're excited about the process. Now we can talk about the investment. So make it easy for yourself. And what I mean by easy, I also mean easy, lucrative, and fun. Why charge a little when this person is willing to pay a lot? And they'll get more out of it if they do. If you charge $9 for something or $20 for something or $100 for something that you could easily charge $1,000 for, you're doing them a disservice and you're doing yourself a disservice. Because people pay attention to what they pay for and what pays them. So by getting invested in and receiving a lot of money, or, this doesn't feel like a lot of money. $1,000 is $1,000, but it's a lot to some people. It's little to some people. $1,000 ain't paying my rent. I'll tell you that much. When people are paying me $100,000, I'm going to show up. I'm going to give everything I got and I'm going to go and get more. I'm going to grow during that experience. So what's that number for you that's going to stretch you and it's going to stretch them? And you're going to get better clients that get better results as a result because they're invested and they're in and they're paying attention to what they paid for. And you're getting paid and you're excited and you're invested in and you feel like you have to grow a little bit to get there. And you have to go and do that extra little, dance to get bigger and better and get more experts and really get it going with these people. Because let me just reiterate, if you already had the things that you wanted in life, you would already be the person who could have them easily and effortlessly. You have to grow to get from here to there. The reason you don't have the things you want is because you're not yet the person who have those things easily and effortlessly. I get things in my life all the time. It's easy and effortless. They just show up because I'm the person who's aligned with that thing that I want. And it's not a neediness. It's not a reach. I've done the work on myself to create that. So that's all, I don't want to give a 20-minute lecture on pricing, but the psychology of pricing is charge more and find where the market meets where they're just not willing to pay anymore. Like find that. So if you're getting like everybody buying, you're not high. You're not high enough, right? I've had clients, I'll talk about a few of them, but I talked about Justin yesterday. He went 6 for 6 on his first 6 sales calls at $1,000. It was too cheap. He had to go up. But I think 1,000 is a great place to start for a beta or a pilot program. Some people, they come in at 500. They don't want value. I would not go under 500. And it depends on your market. There's a lot of different factors, right? Some people are not in America. Some people are in other countries. Totally fine. But find a price point that stretches you and stretches them. Not breaks the whole thing, but stretches you and stretches them. Or it's a little uncomfortable for both of you. It's uncomfortable for you to ask and it's uncomfortable for them to say yes. If it's too easy for either of you, it's not high enough. Okay? So let's work the numbers just to see where we're at. So let's say you want to make $100,000 in a year. Well, let's break that down. What does that actually look like? And what's a few ways you can make that amount using masterminds? So you could charge 10 clients, 10,000, totally reasonable. You could charge 20 clients, 5,000, or you could charge 100 clients, 1,000. It just depends on how hard you want to work and what type of offer you have and what type of clients you want to work with. The most important thing is that your offer is right for those people. And that includes the pricing. But additionally, it should be expedient to your goals. It should get you to where you want to go as fast as possible. So if your goal is to make 100,000, well, you should do that in a way that makes the most sense. And it will achieve your goals in the least amount of time. It feels best to you. And again, it stretches you a little bit, stretches them a little bit. So let's say it's 20 clients at 5,000. That works out to be 500 a month if they pay monthly, and let's say 5,000 a year if they pay in full and you give them a discount, right? So this is what we're building towards, starting with the beta. So let's just use that as a, insert pricing here. If you're not sure, let's aim for $500 a month or 5,000 a year for that. And then we'll do the beta, the one-off, right? Because we're not going to do the whole year yet. We're going to test this out as a one-off for $500, as if it was like, we're going to get a month and we have a month to deal with these people and work through this and whatnot. You could do it as a one-off, like a day mastermind, 2-day mastermind. You could do it like, okay, we're going to do a couple mastermind calls and just get this going as the beta to see if it works and reevaluate after a month. There's a lot of ways you can do this. I say pick the one that feels the best for you based on your transformation. Some of you guys are going to need more time to work with these people than just a couple days. Some of you, these people, you could bring in some experts and knock it out in a day or two. All right. It just depends on your niche, your offer, and what amount of time, let's say a few days to a few months, makes sense for you. Like some people, it's a more technical transformation process. It's going to take a little longer. So it's a little bit longer of a beta, but don't make it a year long because you don't want to get stuck in an offer you don't love. Okay. And then we can work towards that. And this is the question I always posit to all my clients. And I say to myself, like, what's an amount of money I'm going to charge? And how do I add 10 times the amount of value for that, where they feel like they got 10 times the money out of it? Now, it's easy in the money niche when you're doing a money mastermind, because it's like, okay, well, you paid $5,000 for this mastermind. I want to make sure you get $50,000 worth of value, meaning like $50,000 in new deals, new contacts, new connections, new systems, new processes, some sort of, savings of that, or earning of that within the time of the mastermind. So if I charge $5,000 for a year-long mastermind, I would hope they get $50,000 worth of stuff out of it, just as an example. So what could you do to 10x that? How could you deliver on the promise, and then over deliver, so make sure that everybody got what they wanted and way more? So that's all pricing. And we could go on and on for that forever. Pick a price, stretches you, stretches them. It's a little uncomfortable, and you can grow into it. And then think about your goals in relation to that, and how fast can you get there, and then how do you 10x the value for what you're charging? Okay. All right. What did they say in their own words? Here's the most important and overlooked thing that separates dabblers from masters. A master wants to talk to as many people in that market to understand their tribal language. What do they say when they say, I have a problem? What do they say when they say, I need a solution? What are their exact words? And what's their pain, right? What is their actual problem? What is the thing that they want to solve, that they would love for a magic wand to come along and wave and just solve their problem? And what do they say they want in their own words? We'll get this through market research. We're going to teach you all about that tomorrow. But for now, I want you to take what's in your head and put it on paper, because I want you to come with something that's like a guiding light, so that you can then perfect it with market research. And this is double duty. The market research we're doing is not passive. It's not just Googling. It's talking to real people, which could be in the market for what you're serving. And hint, hint, they probably are if they're willing to spend 15 minutes with you talking about their problem in this particular area, right? So then you can, in high integrity, move them to a sales conversation. We'll teach you exactly how to do that tomorrow. Really exciting. We're going to get your first mastermind client. Can you start to see it pulling together? I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Okay, great. So what makes an offer irresistible? If you want to sell out the beta launch of your mastermind, here's what you're going to do. Now, we're going to spend a little bit of time here, but we're going to make sure we stay within the hour. So we're at 11:37 now. So thing one is messaging around the transformation is spot on. Exactly what they want without what they don't want. And you're continuing to massage this rather with, you're having conversations with qualified, interested, excited people, leads, if you will. And tomorrow we're going to talk more about market research. I talked about that. And then I just want to teach you this quick framework here, this FABC. I borrowed this. I kind of made it my own a little bit with one of my heads of sales at one time, Frank Zimmerhansel. If he's here, Frank, giving you a shout out. This is what he calls the 5 levels of influence. I call it the FABC. And this is really about the elements or components of messaging and how you message an offer. And these are like the check marks you want to hit. So when you're talking to somebody about your offer, you want to talk about the features. Like, what are the things they get? Like, you get a Facebook group, they get calls, they get videos, whatever it is. Like, that's the feature. But that's not exciting. That doesn't do anything for anybody. Like, who just wants to buy? Like, do you buy a car just because it has windows, because it has doors? Like, every car has windows and doors, whatever. What does that allow them to do that they couldn't do before? How does that emotionally tie them to their goals and the things they say they want and don't want? That's what you really want to care about. So when you think about features, think about benefits-driven language to connect to those features, so that you can. This will allow you to, so that you're able to. So, for example, we have videos. We have a whole video vault, 200 hours of content. But we're not going to just say, hey, you got to go watch a bunch of videos. That's boring. Nobody wants that. I say, listen, I made all this content so that you have what you need when you need it. It's on demand, and I can point you to the thing you need right now. And this is all customized for you. That's why you're working with me on the calls each week. So I say, go watch a video. You come back to me with any questions. If not, you just go and do it. Simple. That's what we do. And we make it really clear. So they don't have to stand and, say, oh my God, I got to watch 200 hours of it. No. Hopefully you have to watch as few videos as possible to get the results, so that you can take action and stay in action. That's what I care about. I don't care about you watching videos. I don't have any ego about it. I want you to go get results. If you watch 0 videos and get results, that's amazing. But it's about giving them the minimum effective dose for what they need. That's how I emotionally tie it to, hey, I care about your time and I care about your results. Instead of just, hey, here's some videos. You get what I'm saying? So take a feature, turn it into a benefit. So I kind of skipped advantages. So, but it's in the languaging, right? It's like, why is this better? Because a lot of courses, as opposed to a mastermind, they're just going to make you watch some videos and good luck. 10% of people watch the videos and less get the results. With a mastermind, you're going to have the consistency, accountability, the support, that trusted relationship. You're going to have guidance along the way, and you're going to have an opportunity to hot seat whenever you have a problem or a breakthrough is needed, or you need clarity on something. That's where the rubber meets the road. So think about advantages. Like, why a mastermind versus a course or a book or a coaching program or a group coaching program? Why a mastermind? Think about the advantages of what you're selling. More income, less time, more impact, lose the weight, get the muscle, get the girl, get the boy, fix your kids, get through the divorce, whatever it is people want in your niche. Sell that. And the advantage of doing it with this vehicle versus another vehicle, right? So what's the advantage of a Mercedes versus a Volvo? They're both great cars. They'll both get you from A to B. What's the advantage of the Mercedes? People want a luxury experience in a Mercedes. They buy a Volvo because they want safety. Now they buy Teslas because they want safety. But that's another reason that safety is what people value on this side, and luxury is what people value on that side. And I would say a Mercedes is a safe car, and and Volvo certainly has some luxury features. But it's why do people buy one versus the other is because of their values. So when you're thinking about the people you're making an offer for and the advantages they want, think about their values. Think about who these people are. Think about what they care about. And you can tailor this down to the individual level, but let's just think about it broadly for now as you're building this offer. This is what Tony Robbins means when he says, fall in love with your ideal client. You got to know them better than they know themselves so that you can help them more than anybody else could. More than they could really help themselves. Because if they could solve this problem on their own, they would have solved it already. Remember, they need to pay you. They need your help. If for no other fact that you're more committed to this than they might be. You want them to get the results. And you're getting paid to do it, so you take it very seriously. You pay attention to what you get paid for. All right, so we talked about features. We talked about advantages. This is your USP, your unique selling proposition. If you've taken any sales or marketing training, you've probably heard about this. Why is it better? Make a comparison to other solutions. What are the benefits? Tie them to the emotions, all right, so that you can. This will allow you to, so that you're able to. So you get X, this feature, so that you can Y. You get X, this feature, so that you can. This will allow you to Y, right? Or so that you're able to X, right? And then finally, stories and causes. So I always include at least 3 stories when I sell anything. People love stories. You ever notice how people just shut up when you start telling a story? One time I was telling a story and people just shut up and listen to me. It's true. You're laughing right now. I can hear you laughing. It's true. People hear a story and they automatically get quiet, whether it's a story they want to hear or not, because that's how people are wired. We're wired to respond to stories. So remember, the best story, we started to kind of piece it together before, Little Red Riding Hood example and Luke Skywalker example. That's the character, the desire, the conflict, but there's also the hero's journey. And there's the overt hero's journey. There's what actually happened. And then there's a covert hero's journey. Who did they become along the way that allowed them to get the thing they ultimately desired in the beginning? Who did they have to become? What transformation did they have to make? So when you tell stories that sell, you want to sell through a lens of, I was here, a bunch of stuff happened, I did X, Y, and Z, this process, and they brought me there to the result they want. And you can talk about it from your perspective, you can talk about it from your client's perspective, but you should have 3 stories of people who have gotten these results so that you can have those ready for when you make the offer. Let me talk to you about 3 clients that have had success before. And if you're not the expert, you can borrow from the expert because they have clients that have success. Okay. And then finally, what's the bigger mission that you serve? What's the bigger mission that you serve? So now we've talked about stories on an individual level. What are we doing this for worldwide? Why is this important? This is where you bring in the woo-woo, airy-fairy, kumbaya, save the manatees type of stuff. This is where you bring in, we're going to save the rainforest. This is where you bring in, we're going to, transform the lives of 1,000 entrepreneurs so they can focus on the grand challenges of our time. This is where you bring in, we're going to reach 1 million people. This is where you bring in whatever it is your heart truly desires. This is where the big stuff happens because you've already hit all the big points that they care about. This is just the icing on the cake at that point, right? In buying this and investing in this program and making this transformation, I am affecting this cause, which I may care about. So Features, advantages, benefits, stories, causes. If you learn nothing else in this entire training, this is going to serve you for the rest of your life. Anytime you make an offer, make sure you hit all these 5 and you will win. And if you're not hitting all these 5, you probably missed one and it'll cost you. And not any one of these things is going to tank you if you miss it, but if you add them all together and you stack it properly, it's irresistible. This is how you make an offer irresistible. And then finally, pillars and process are clear versus clever. It doesn't take a lot of know-how. It doesn't take a lot of experience. It does not take a lot of joie de vivre to make something clever and long-winded and go on and on about how great it is. What takes real genius is to make things so simple that they immediately get it. You can drop an iPad in sub-Saharan Africa with a bunch of goat farmers and they're going to figure that thing out by the end of the day. Right? It's simple, it's clear, it's easy. As long as there's enough energy to run the thing, they're going to figure out how to use it. There's no passcode or whatever blocking them. They're going to play around, they're going to get it. It's intuitive. It uses fingers. They already have fingers. It's easy, right? So how can you make your thing as clear as possible to follow and explain, and they just get it. They 100%, they're on board before you even talk about the money, because they got to be sold on the process before they'll ever consider making an investment for any amount of money. They got to get it. With a product, it's easy. You pick it up, you look at it, I've looked at hundreds of pens in my life. I can tell a good pen in like 5 seconds. I write with it, I look at it, I click around with it. Is it plastic or junky? Is it nice and metal? I don't know. Like what I'm going to make that determination in 40 seconds or less. This doesn't take me long. We've been doing this our whole life. Just put yourself in the mind of the consumer at this point. Put yourself in the mind of the client. Like, am I going to get this? Is this going to be clear? Or are there going to be questions I still have? So the real goal here is to get to a point where you can build it and like put it on paper and then walk yourself through it as if you were the client, or work with somebody and like kind of pair up. That's totally acceptable. If you have an accountability buddy, which you should, it's day 3. If not, get on your accountability game. Go to your accountability buddy and be like, hey, can we bat our offer back and forth and tell me where the holes are? So when you've built this, get it really clear by testing it out on each other. And then tomorrow we're going to do market research and see how it does in the wild with people who, aren't in this with you. All right. So here are your action steps. You ready? I'm super excited for this. This is going to be a great day, guys. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Is the most important day so far. We've just been gearing up for this. We got your niche. We know who we're going after. We know our benefit statement. We know how to put a shot across the bow. Some people are already like having conversations about working together. People are trying to throw money at them. This is where the rubber meets the road. Get your offer dialed in. Let's do it. And we're going to do it more and more every day. And we're going to do this for the rest of our careers. This is never over, but we're going to take a big chunk out of it today. So draft it, share it in the Facebook group. I will not have time to read all these. There's going to be a lot of them. So get with your accountability buddy and work back and forth and get them clearer and clearer. And if you're not sure, or you're a single person who needs an accountability team, please, somebody post up if they want more accountability buddies. It's okay to have 3 in a group. I just want somebody to have, if they're serious about this, find somebody to help you with it. Even if they're not in the challenge, but just find somebody that you can work with this back and forth on, because it's going to make it much, much faster. So go in your hole, go in your little hobby hole and do it yourself. Get it out there on a page or 2, and then go to somebody and work with it and go back and forth. And that's going to be the most important thing. We're going to give you swipe copy right now to go into your Facebook, your IG, your DMs, your LinkedIn, whatever it is. And tomorrow we're going to talk about market research calls, a step-by-step of how to do them, exactly what to say. But in order to have the calls, we have to have some booked, right? And it might take a day or so to get some booked. So let's actually book some right now and just trust that, by tomorrow, you'll know exactly what to say, because I got you. Don't worry. So this is the best way we found to grab the low-hanging fruit in your network in order to book the calls ASAP. And you're going to post this or a slight variant. Don't go too far off script here, but something really simple to the point. And here it is. I'm looking to interview a few blank for a new project I'm working on surrounding your topic or niche. Anyone have 15 minutes to chat? Referrals are also greatly appreciated. That's it. Simple. You're not going to go into a giant story about all these things that you're doing. And this is all nobody cares. Just, do you have this problem? I want to talk to you for 15 minutes. You got 15 minutes? Let's schedule a call. And you can wing this. If you can't wait till tomorrow and you got people that are chomping at the bit to talk to them, wing it for now. It'd be better than doing nothing. I'd rather have you take imperfect action than wait till everything is super clear and 100%. Because this will get you out of your jitters. This will get you into the game. This will get you feedback. This will allow you to ask people questions. And you're not looking to sell anything right now. You're just looking to get feedback. Does this offer make sense? Would you be interested in this? Would this be of value to you or not? That's it. Start with that. So here are your action steps. put it together, put it in the Facebook group, get this swipe copy out there. I'm giving you a few minutes to write it down now. You'll also have this in recording. If you're on the recording, watching live, hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. And again, hit me up with comments, DMs. I don't know if I'll have time to read them all. I might actually ask my BAM fam group after this if they want they want to come in and volunteer to help you guys a little bit and go through. But get with your accountability buddies. We're all in this together. Let's make it happen. I'm only one guy. I can only help so many people, and I'm sure the VIPs will have a lot of questions. But let's get this done. Okay. So it's about 10 minutes to the hour. We'll end a little bit early here, so you can watch the replay and get started. But by tomorrow, we should have 500 to 1,000 words somewhere in there of your offer on a piece of paper that you're ready to talk to people about. And you have made this post and started to book some calls. 1, 2, 3, 5, doesn't matter. As many as you can, as many people are willing to talk to you. Let's get them on the calendar and let's have a chat. Shall we? This is it. We're on our way. Let's get your first mastermind client. Day 3 in the books. Let's go, baby. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.